these games under 21 years. And I think it's the beginning. To me, it's like it's our first year, because what we're looking at now is to bring our homes. We're funding schools, we're funding. Look, we are getting there. With the support of all of us, we'll make a difference. We'll put a plate somewhere. We'll make sure we'll put a smile on those kids. Together, we can make it.
So that is all coming from the proceeds of this tournament?
Yes, we're on the winning process now. Honestly, I cannot say much now. We just completed a 3-year contract with the sponsors that we had, but they're on my back. They want to renew like yesterday. And I have more sponsors that wants to come on board. I need to plan this thing properly. We have disabled there, we have homes, we've got all those things. If I can take kids to school, if I can have a good package that I would take out of my pocket and say, Nami from Ufili, I'm making a difference there, to make me a very proud man.
Will you be having PSL players this year?
I cannot mention names, but they're always there. It's people that want to kill me sometimes, and they want to murder me, not kill me actually. They will call me and say, you're playing my players. I'm not playing anybody. In my tournament, you cannot play without an ID copy. So if somebody gives you his ID copy to register, so why do you blame me? Who brought this? I never forced him to give me an ID copy.
And some will come not because they want to cause trouble, because they came through this tournament.
They came through, and it's a different crowd. These crowds are different. They are not like the PSL, you name them. There's a different style of a crowd. Yes. Super Pack, then it's raw football. They do what they want to do. They can jingle, they can do anything. But that's what we love the most. I cannot even count my fingers. You saw I was with Dr. Kumalo was here, Kungwane. 90% of players that play on the Premier League now, they came past. We cannot develop players, but we can give them stages. We can make the sponsors to come and view them in a full capacity crowd, where that we take away the fright. It's stage fright. The player could be a good player, but when he goes to a full house stadium, a player start having problems because he cannot. So we prepare players and say, come to Phillies games. Here's the crowd. Here's your raw football. Expose. It's exposure. More exposure than developing.
Communities have a very special relationship with football, and it is for that reason that beyond top flight and official development level football, that we invest so heavily in community games. The Phillies games are one of 3 events that we invest very heavily in. There are 3 in total that MTN invests in and participate in, and especially in the last 3 years, it has been a very structured relationship wherein we have invested in the likes of the PE games, and then we will follow with the Liba games, the Limpopo Bao games, which will be held in Tanen this year in Goangoa, where we will be showcasing the best of amateur talent in the region. And we will culminate our investment in community football with the Phillies games, which will kick off on the 16th of December and end on the 30th of December. This is the traditional period in which these games are held.
This is the only tournament that you could always say it brings back the township football. I mean, it's played in the gravels, it's played in the grass, and hopefully most of the guys, especially 90% of the PSL players, are from this tournament, and it shows. And that our football has changed to an extent that it's now called modern football. But that's how we need to move with it, especially players that are getting paid. But this is a tournament where you feel that football is played and you enjoy your football.
I know that in the past there would be PSL players who will also come back to play in this tournament. Do we still have that?
I think in contract constraints, or probably they are bounded by our contracts. But this is the only tournament where they feel free. They can express themselves. I mean, you've got Tsietsi Mahoa from Bloemfontein Celtics. You have the late Skarang Gobese. You have the late... Look, Tiko Modisa plays in this tournament. Katla Rompela, Majoro. I used to play with Majoro for a team called Cheese, and I made him look good. But the problem is, he'll probably not even attest and say that. But unfortunately, the kind of football that we watch in the PSL, the kind of football that we watch here on this tournament, they're 2 different games, because players here express themselves on the gravel.
What would you like to see going forward?
More sponsorship, more TV coverage is very important for teams to see that if Tiko Modise played in this kind of tournament, how many Tiko Modises can they find in this tournament? How many, I won't say Shakespeare won because I was exceptional. I was more than Messi and more than, but average players that are playing in the PSL now, the scouts should come, the SAFA technical team, everybody.